It's what gets us up in the morning. It keeps us thinking at night. It taps into our strengths and inspirations. It's the charge we get when an idea connects. A concept becomes reality. It's the satisfaction we feel when we can financially sustain ourselves and our families. It's impact and momentum. It's trying and failing and finding success. It's the spirit of small business, and it's what we're celebrating today. Pacific Coast Business Times honors the Spirit of Small Business Award winners and acknowledges their drive and inspirations. In Swahili, the word Rojo translates to spirit and kindness. In the retail world, it translates to beautiful sandals, bags, and accessories. Rojo's ethical fashion business model is creating buzz in the US and social change on the other side of the world. Callie Hernandez was only 26 in 2016 when she launched her company, but she'd already spent years thinking about making a difference in the world. Having aspired to work with nonprofits to help solve poverty-related issues after graduating from Northwestern University, Callie accepted a Princeton Fellowship to do fieldwork in East Africa. But while spending time with nonprofits in Kenya and Tanzania, her passions called her in a different direction. After spotting a stunning pair of beaded sandals at a local craft market, Callie saw an opportunity to combine her dedication for creating social change with entrepreneurship. She spent weeks searching for the artisan who crafted the sandals. Once they connected, she began mapping out the East African sandal market, finding more craftspeople and artisans to create merchandise for her to bring to the U.S. market. Hernandez's primary goal when she launched Rojo was to economically empower women, and she has let that guide her business model. For its 400 Kenyan employees, most of whom are women, Rojo pays fair wages, provides a safe work environment, and helps their children receive a quality education. In 2018, the Sustainable Development Solutions Network recognized Rojo as one of 50 global youth-led solutions advancing the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. In the same year, Forbes magazine also highlighted the company. All this, and the company is only 3 years old. We are excited to see what the future holds for Rojo, Hernandez, and the lives touched by this socially conscious business. We are proud to present Rojo with the Think Global Award. Ventura Training Institute is a family-owned and operated vocational school in Oxnard. The mother-daughter team of Janet and Denise Wharton own and operate the school and trains its students to become certified nursing assistants and home health aides. Janet Wharton emigrated to the U.S. from Bolivia, speaking no English when she first arrived. She surmounted numerous obstacles to eventually become a registered nurse.
She landed in LAX and a friend was supposed to pick her up. And the friend got hung up and never showed up, and she just arrived by herself in LAX and had to find her way to her apartment in LA. So she's always kind of had this just make it work kind of situation. You know, she just, whatever life gave her, she found a way to figure it out.
While working at St. John's Regional Medical Center in Oxnard, Janet noticed there were very few Latinos in the nursing field relative to the city's population. So, after 20 years as an RN, she founded the Ventura Training Institute. With just 3 students when she opened in 2009, she began teaching certified nursing assistant courses on weekends.
It was mostly word of mouth, and it was amazing how that built just through the community. People were like, hey, you can go here and take classes. And even to this day, we spend almost no money on marketing.
With the help of daughter Denise, serving as executive director for the past 5 years, the Ventura Training Institute has grown to a current enrollment of 40 students.
My mom always pushed me into the medical field. She was like, there's so many, you should be a nurse, there's so many opportunities, but business was what I really enjoyed. So I went and got my MBA at Pepperdine. And when I graduated, I could go kind of the more traditional route. To be honest with you, I wanted to see what I could do. If anybody was going to give me the ability to try and see what my potential is, it would be my mom, you know? So I was like, this is going to be a good fit. I didn't know how crazy it was going to be. Growing a business is not a joke. Working with your family also adds its layers on top of that too, but I don't regret my decision.
Now offering classes 7 days a week with a staff of 20 employees, the school provides its students a pathway into a wide range of professions in the nursing and medical fields. Always looking to the next challenge, Denise and Janet have plans to expand the school into Los Angeles to help even more people get the training necessary to enter a career in nursing. Denise acknowledges the best part of the job is getting to spend time with the woman she admires the most.
I love her, you know, she's the best mom anybody could ask for. And I'm very proud to call her my mom, you know. She served as an inspiration to myself and a lot of people, so that's awesome.
Wyatt Technology began with the unlikely mix of wine and laser light scattering. That might not sound like a great pairing for your next dinner party, but Philip Wyatt's physics experiment attracted national attention from beverage connoisseurs and the science community alike.
It created quite a stir internationally. Every newspaper in the world thought it was amazing, and the enology department at Davis cursed us. They were getting phone calls from their clients asking why they haven't been using lasers to analyze the wines.
And so, in the early 80s, Wyatt Technology was born, with pioneering developments in multi-angle light scattering instrumentation.
What I love about my job most is this wonderful group of companions and employees we have. The 130-odd people in Santa Barbara are spectacular. Every one of them is a delight to interact with daily.
Wyatt is the largest supplier of multi-angle light scattering devices in the world.
Pharmaceutical companies use our instruments in the development and production of antibiotics, a variety of vaccines. Probably most of the vaccines in the world somehow go through our instruments, and the development of new pharmaceuticals. So we're very proud of that customer base.
The company's instruments are vital to any business working with polymers, especially those in the biopharmaceutical industry. Philip Wyatt has authored over 70 publications in the field. And if that number isn't enough to impress you, more than 13,000 peer-reviewed articles have referenced Wyatt Technology since the company began.
Working with my sons is really spectacular. They respect their father, but on the other hand, they feel very independent and are not reluctant to express their views, quite often, by the way.
Philip's son, Jeffrey, first joined the company back in 1983 as president and its second full-time employee. In May of 2018, Jeffrey took over as CEO and handed over the reins as president to brother and former executive vice president Clifford Wyatt. Philip remains chairman of the board and an indelible part of the Wyatt team and the field of science. We are honored to present the Pioneer Award to Wyatt Technology. Eric and Brian Wendt admit the path of their success is littered with hard-learned lessons.
I think our mom was used to us blowing things up and lighting things on fire. You'd made flamethrowers in the garage since I can remember, and
yep.
So it was just another day at the Wendt household.
The science-minded brothers were creating amazing technology before Brian Wendt was even old enough to vote.
Anything I could get my hands on, I would tear apart and rebuild and repurpose, but the first big thing I actually worked on was our first company. We built a alternative fuel vehicle. It was the first ever vehicle to run on 4 different fuels at the same time. It was hydrogen, high-thane, compressed natural gas, and then we left the gasoline in there at the same time.
While a student at UCSB, Eric developed a novel concept for a super efficient 25-pound motor that could run 100 miles to a gallon.
I fell victim to the misnomer that if you build a better mousetrap, the world will be a path to your doorway, and that is definitely not the case. We started our first company and created an engine that was technically brilliant, but from a business perspective was far from it. We tried to disrupt the automotive industry that definitely didn't want to be disrupted. Lost a bunch of money in the meantime, and had to spend the next several companies paying off our debt from our first company.
The Wendt brothers handled their defeat the way all successful people do. They learned from it and moved on to the next thing. The twosome began a software company that helped internet startups. Their work with budding technology companies was so successful, they were eventually overseeing 14 different brands.
We ended up always with that mentality of us against the world.
Yeah, it was us against the parents and then us against the world.
And the rest is history. We've been in, I can't remember, 17 countries, started companies in most of those, traveled the world together, started 130-something companies together, yeah, and still haven't fought.
Eric and Brian returned to Ventura County and consolidated their businesses under the name Matter Labs.
We had a rebrand not that long ago where we shifted to Matter Labs and we started to focus on projects that matter. And since we've met some amazing leaders and developed some cool projects. We've done a ton in biosensors, some really interesting stuff in medical, solving problems that nobody really wanted to get their hands dirty solving.
Through a technology exchange consortium with the Navy and the Economic Development Collaborative, Matter Labs launched a lab that brings naval engineers and intellectual property together with regional tech startups. The consortium allows small companies to access equipment like laser cutters and metal 3D printers that they simply couldn't support on their own.
It's been a gathering place for people inside and outside of the base, and that kind of coming together, I think, is where those interesting collisions have taken place. You have really exciting tech companies doing really new and cool things, a lot of people from the military side with interesting problems that companies usually wouldn't be able to have access to. So it's developing a kind of informed innovation where you bring those people together and they can solve some really cool problems.
The Wendt brothers have derived one of the most important lessons they continue to pass on to emerging entrepreneurs. Find a problem before you create a solution. Make sure there are people interested in what you're developing. Though you might not suspect it from the name, American Tooth Industries can trace its roots to Italy over 80 years ago. The grandfather of current president and CEO Emilio Pozzi began manufacturing dental products in Florence back in 1935. Mario gave his fledgling company the family name Pozzi, a brand that still exists today.
I have memory of growing up as a kid in the factory and being able to, instead of playing with soldiers and toys, sometimes go into the factory and play with the scrap metal, the scrap plastic, and the memories also of a certain smell or a certain scent.
The family business came to the States with Mario's son Bruno, who established Bruno Pozzi Dental Products in Los Angeles back in 1971. 4 years later, the company moved to Oxnard, where it remains today.
One of our goals is always to keep the production in California, and it has been hard, but we found Ventura County to be very hospitable for that case.
In 2008, Emilio took the helm of American Tooth Industries and became the third generation of Pozzi men to head a company in the dental product industry.
We have 2 or 3 second or third generation people working with us, and I think that's important to thank all their work over the years. We have some engineers who have been with us 25 years and their son is with us now, and I think that makes the big difference. And that makes the business really a family.
American Tooth Industries has become a mainstay of quality in the States. Today, 1 in 4 orthodontic patients will have at least one American Tooth Industries product used during their care. While the business has grown tremendously with interests in America, Europe, and Asia, it has resisted shortcuts and lower-priced materials and maintained a reputation for producing the most realistic-looking and feeling teeth and the highest quality orthodontic products. The Pacific Coast Business Times is proud to present the All in the Family Award to American Tooth Industries.
Well, it's being an Italian, for us, family is everything, and being able to work with your family and create something that it's helpful, especially in the health industry, and in our case in the dental. And over the years we have made so many different products that have helped many kids, and so it's been proud to be able to carry the tradition that was started 100 years ago.
Say the words Doc Bernstein's Ice Cream Lab to anyone on the Central Coast, and you're sure to get a smile. That's not just because of the original flavors or the fun environment.
Some of our Doc's signature flavors are motor oil, Doc's Java, mint fudge Oreo. We have straight to the dentist. Those are the ones that are the most popular flavors we have today.
As CEO Michael Boyer explains, it's modus operandi of the entire company.
We're trying to help guests have a great time, and when you think about it that way, everything we do is around improving guest experience. So whether that's inventing new flavors, whether that is designing new parlor architectural drawings for new parlor layouts, we really are focused on making sure that guests has a great, memorable experience.
Another goal that informs both the inner workings and public persona of Doc Bernstein's is cultivating a holistic relationship with the community. It's an idea founder and chairman of the board, Greg Steinberger, employed from the moment he conceived of the ice cream shop, by creating a name that was at once new and also an established part of the community.
Doc Bernstein started in 2003, but it's really a 6-year-old business with a 33-year history. I actually took over a spot that used to be Bernardo's, and in the process of trying to get restarted in the same location, I located the original founder of Bernardo's, a man named Chuck Burns, and he helped me restart it. So we went back to the original recipes he used in 1976.
First named a Spirit of Small Business Award winner in 2009, the company has since enjoyed an enviable annual growth rate of 14.5%, with sales in 2018 topping $2.6 million. But the company isn't just about turning profits. Doc Bernstein's is ardently dedicated to its community.
We have pledged to give 10% of our profits back to the community. We typically give quite a bit more than 10% of our profits back.
With donations to local schools and nonprofits, and its monthly Pint for a Pint blood drive, Doc Bernstein's is a business people can feel good about supporting. And Steinberger's emphasis on caring for the community doesn't stop at philanthropy. Inspired by the model of community-based ownership practiced by his hometown Green Bay Packers, Steinberger began offering direct public stock into the community in 2013.
He's a Green Bay fan, and he saw that getting everybody involved created a huge amount of loyalty to the brand.
But fans of Doc Bernstein's will tell you their loyalty comes from the delicious ice cream and amazing array of flavors it comes in. How do they come up with all those flavors?
Greg invented this idea of a lab show that he used to do every week in the parlor. And kids would come and they would be able to say, well, no, put this in or put that in. And essentially, many of our flavors were invented by kids at the lab show.
Doc Bernstein's Ice Cream Lab has become a beloved and iconic Central Coast brand, and it has plans to spread the happiness to 100 locations across California in the next 5 years. That's a lot of ice cream and memories to make. Since 1976, Canon has been providing engineering and surveying services to clients in a wide variety of industries, including water resources, transportation, land development, aerospace and defense, oil and gas production, and education. One of the things that has changed during the 32 years since Michael Canon became president of the company is the focus on sustainability. Believing that it benefits both business and the planet, Canon has made a commitment to establishing and incorporating sustainability programs into the company's practices and strategic planning. They have full-time leadership in energy and environmental design accredited professionals on staff to consult on projects and help incorporate low-impact, environmentally responsible alternatives into designs and plans. One area of sustainability Canon has worked to promote is green and complete street infrastructure design. Green streets incorporate low-impact development features to capture stormwater and recharge local aquifers. Complete streets are multimodal roadways that provide mobility options for pedestrians, cyclists, and users regardless of ability. Encouraging clients to embrace green, complete street design features improves livability through inclusive access and sustainable elements to preserve local landscapes and water resources. Canon recently provided engineering for Cal Poly San Luis Obispo's first-year residential community, Yaqui Tutu, which was awarded the Outstanding Sustainable Engineering Project by the ASCE San Luis Obispo branch. This project, which is on track for Gold LEED certification, boasts a 1.1 megawatt solar system providing net zero energy consumption and low-impact development features for increased infiltration during rain events. Canon has amassed an impressive array of experience in sustainable projects. As we push further into the 21st century, the need for sustainable, green building and design practices is only growing. We are thrilled to present the Green Business Award to Canon Engineering.